going on, ladies and gents, boys and girls, guardians of all ages? Joker back again once again, and today, people, today! Now, if you've been following my channel for any length of time, and God help your soul if you have, then you know that I'm not one of these content creators that sprints to YouTube the moment Bungie farts out a patch note. I don't make Xur videos, and I'm not sitting here decoding every breadcrumb of lore like it's the Rosetta Stone. Could I? Oh, absolutely. It would be the easiest thing in the world. And no shade to the people who make that sort of content, by the way. I like a lot of that content. I find it very useful. Why waste my time logging into Destiny to see what Xur has when a Fallout video is quicker than logging into Destiny to see what Xur has? Personally speaking, I like to take my time making content. When I post more than one video a week, people assume I've been kidnapped and forced to make content at gunpoint. So thank you. I mean, for sticking around and putting up with that, but I digress. When it comes to expansions, I like to actually finish the expansion before I go scorched earth. It only seems fair. My hope is that I might be surprised. I like being surprised. I mean, look at Warframe. I didn't think I'd like Warframe.
What the hell?
But Warframe is fucking amazing. I love the storytelling in Warframe. The storytelling in Warframe is what Destiny wishes it was. No cope, no cap, no whatever the kids are saying these days. It's adult, it's mature, it trusts the player to have more than 3 brain cells, it's cosmic horror, it's existential dread, it's time travel shenanigans and paradoxes.
Time's up, kiddo. I can save them. All of them.
But you have to want it.
Let's say we shake on it.
It's great. Does the game and the gameplay have problems? Absolutely. I'm sure people are typing comments in below going, I hate this aspect of the gameplay. And that's fair. I don't know enough about the gameplay to really judge it because I'm a story indie. But the story was a pleasant surprise. I like being surprised. So contrary to popular belief, when Destiny comes out with a new expansion, my default position isn't to just hate the expansion for existing. How dare Bungie make DLC? No, traditionally, I roll up my sleeves, I wade knee deep into the mechanics, the lore, the marketing fluff, and whatever the gimmick of the week is. So when I open my mouth, whatever I say is either entertaining or at least a fairly compelling argument to the reason why I feel the way that I feel. Or at least that's what I tell myself, and you guys keep showing up and watching my videos. Again, thank you. I must be doing something right? But today, people, today I am going to break away from tradition because I have a fully formed set of middle fingers squared away for whomever the hell greenlit Matter Spark, Bungie's creatively bankrupt take on Metroid Prime's Morph Ball. Who the fuck sat in a meeting, whiteboard marker in hand, and said, you know what Destiny really needs? Not new strikes, unless you count the voice actor strike affecting the game. No new dungeons, no new PvP maps or modes, no new Gambit update, no new Forge mode. Okay, a Forge mode is probably a little too ambitious, but you get what I'm saying. It needs none of the social features that an MMO needs to be an MMO. Oh, no. Why do that in your main game when you can do that in your Chinese mobile game? All of that is too logical, too ambitious, too player-friendly. What Destiny needs, what it deserves, is more boring, banal, and brain-dead puzzle mechanics. But this time, with a bonus feature, photo-induced migraines and complimentary seizures baked into the VFX. Fuck that. Fuck you, and fuck the entire gaggle of slithering sycophants who choke this half-baked chicken up 9 levels of managerial incompetence and oversight. If only Bungie had a proper Q&A department. You remember Q&A, right? Quality, assurance, that inconvenient group of people whose entire job it is to make sure the game doesn't implode on itself, doesn't soft lock your progress, tells you that the new ammo economy is terrible, or, you know, that the new ball mechanic is literally trying to kill your players with seizures. From what the Whispers in the Warp tell me, they got rid of their tech Q&A people and just have a... Can't believe I'm reading this. Quote, unquote, vibes Q&A department. For some reason, I can't fathom why, I'm getting flashbacks to Concord and reports of toxic positivity. Why is that? I wonder. I sit here all a wonder. But in layman's terms, this means the important tech QA shit, the actual important stuff, the physics bugs, the soft locks, the part where Matter Spark turns into a goddamn rave grenade, was all kicked downstream to a bunch of third-party QA contractors. That said, I find it really hard to believe that even third-party contractors would miss something so blindingly, migraine-inducingly obvious. Or so the Whispers of the Warp tell me. And frankly, I'm inclined to believe them. Not because I just want to believe them, not because I'm a jackass and this fits the poisonous, toxic narrative that I have created about Bungie, but because that's the best case scenario. Imagine for a moment, if you will, a world where Bungie had a full team dedicated to finding stuff like this, and somehow, someway, through some Herculean leap in logic that us mere mortals will never be able to comprehend, this slipped through. Yikes. I shudder at the thought. So no, I don't think QA would have saved this, because what's the point of sounding the alarm in a company where the people holding the fire extinguishers, the people positioned to prevent this sort of thing from happening, or at least give more time to the people developing the game, are too busy calculating how many Eververse ornaments they can shove into the game and try to sell to people before the studio collapses under its own goddamn ego. Now, of course, because I do make an attempt to be fair and balanced, there is a fix in the works for 9.0.0.4 Tuesday, July 9th. Targeted fix for Matterspark motion sickness and visual improvements. But it shouldn't take 2 weeks for a core aspect of your DLC to be fixed. It should never have shipped this way. And this is before we get into the implementation of Matterspark. But before we get into it, because Warhammer 40k Space Marines are not cheap and I'm still holding out hope that Cato Sicarius gets a new model, a word from our sponsor. This video is sponsored by Aura. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever received a text message that states something along the lines of Amazon, urgent, new login detected, new password set, $9,932.87 charged to your credit card? Or you have, or maybe you've gotten emails to similar effect. This is the year of our Lord 2025. Who hasn't? I know I did after I got my YouTube channel hacked. Every hour of every day, somebody's trying to scam you, and while you may not have the issue of legitimate looking sponsors turning out to be scams, you do have the issue of multi-billion-dollar corporations having data leaks seemingly every other weekend. For example, as reported by The Times on June 20th, 2025, billions of passwords have been leaked in a massive breach, researchers say. According to researchers at Cybernews, who announced the alarming numbers this week as part of an ongoing investigation that began at the start of the year, the information in the exposed datasets opens the door to pretty much any online service imaginable. With over 16 billion with a B login records exposed, criminals now have unprecedented access to personal credentials that can be used for account takeover, identity theft, and highly targeted phishing. If the government and corporations that we trust with our data aren't going to protect us, then we have to protect ourselves, which is why I use today's sponsor, Aura, a truly all-in-one personal security app. Aura finds and removes all your personal information from data broker sites so it can't be sold. Aura also monitors the dark web 24/7, alerting you to the moment they find your info exposed. And if anybody tries to do something like access your credit or bank accounts, you'll know before any damage is done. Stop leaving yourself vulnerable to data breaches. Go to aura.com/darksideroyalty or use my QR code on the screen to get a 14-day free trial and see if any of your data has been exposed. And with that, I would like to thank Aura for sponsoring the channel. Yes, it has occurred to me just now that I have been ranting about Matterspark without actually explaining it for the uninitiated. Though if you paid any attention to Destiny Edge of Fate, I can't imagine you don't know what it is. But because every video is somebody's first, Matterspark is Bungie's thinly veiled attempt to squeeze 7 hours of content out of 3 hours of DLC. I mean, it's the new gimmick of the DLC. However, unlike Stasis, Strand, or Prismatic, things that added to the overall game, whether you liked it or not, this is thankfully quarantined to Kepler. But for all intents and purposes, it is the Strand of the Edge of Fate DLC. And very much like Strand hurt that campaign, Matterspark is hurting this one. When talking about Destiny, there's a clip from Jason Jones that I always come back to.
We are the most cynical people. Like, we are the jaded crowd who, if a game doesn't entertain us in 5 minutes, we stop playing it.
So you'll excuse me if I, and I mean this really, truly, don't understand how you take all the feedback from Lightfall, which was basically unanimous, saying, hey, this campaign sucked because it was a Strand tutorial, or all the feedback from Beyond Light that said, hey, this campaign kind of sucked because it was a Stasis tutorial, or all the feedback from Shadowkeep that said, hey, this campaign sucked because it was just a bunch of fetch quests. How do you internalize this for one DLC because you realized during the process of making Final Shape that a Prismatic tutorial for the entire DLC would be a bad idea, so you delayed it and you reworked it, allegedly, but then your very next move is, okay team, hear me out. What if we centered the entire next campaign around turning into a ball, you know, like Metroid, except instead of having tight level design or clever puzzles, we just scatter holes and goals across a repetitive map that looks like it's been recycled and slightly repainted from the remains of Tangled Shore and Titan, and then call it a day. Boom! Playtime padded. Critiques about it being a small DLC for $40 deflected. Innovation achieved. I'm sorry, I cannot for the life of me understand how anyone is enjoying this gameplay loop. Speaking of gameplay loops, Edge of Fate's gameplay loop boils down to two things. Find where to turn into a Metroid Morph Ball, then find where you secrete yourself as a Metroid Morph Ball, or find the sad little portal gun, not portal gun. And I say portal gun with the heaviest, most sarcastic air quotes you can imagine. Don't get excited, don't sit up, don't even think about smiling, because this ain't Portal.
Now, if you're part of control group Kepler 7, this next test may involve trace amounts of time travel. So, word of advice, if you meet yourself on the testing track, don't make eye contact. Lab boys tell me that'll wipe out time entirely, forward and backward. So, do both of yourselves a favor and just let that handsome devil go about his business.
What we get here instead is what happens when you strip away everything that made Portal fun, interesting, or remotely clever, and replace it with the most bare bones, click here, and do what we say, Bungie on Rails experience imaginable. No freedom, no physics trickery, no creative problem solving, just aim here, press button, repeat over and over and over and over and over again. Every mission so far has been the same cannon puzzle, the same ball mechanic, padded out across 4 to 7 nauseating hours, and we're calling this a campaign. I'm 100% convinced. No hesitation, no nuance, none of the usual diplomatic sophistry that I typically engage in to gild the lily before I deliver hard-hitting criticism, that if Matterspark and this rejected Fisher-Price portal gun had been left on the cutting room floor like the half-baked tech demos they are, Edge of Fate would have been a better expansion. But as is, the gameplay loop doesn't challenge your mind, it numbs it. It's not designed to surprise, delight, wow, or entertain. It's designed to add more padding to this DLC. More padding than the push-up bra aisle of a Victoria's Secret. But then again, who didn't see this coming? Whenever Bungie hypes up some shiny new feature in an expansion, it will, without fail, be an incredibly limited, tightly controlled, barely functional gimmick that they'll show off like it's the revolution of Destiny. This is going to change how you play the game. Yeah, it changes the way that I play Destiny, the same way stubbing my toe changes how I walk. It slows me down and makes me hate everything for a while. There's no depth, there's no long-term vision here, no ambition, no foundation. This isn't the prototype of something you want refined into something meaningful. This is a piece of gravel you stepped on barefoot and rolled your ankle in a Taco Bell parking lot at 3 a.m. in the morning that makes you reconsider every decision in your life that led you here as you stare off into the distance, eyes gaping, going, "No!" But Joker! I hear you cry out with your short, tremulous voice, where's the constructive criticism? Okay, you want a piece of constructive criticism? Stop with half-baked gimmicks. Stop pretending that each new gimmick is some sort of genre-defining innovation. It's not. It's padding. It's filler. It's a distraction from the fact that you haven't meaningfully evolved the core of Destiny's gameplay since Forsaken, and that was more or less a return to form. And I'm not talking about the new subclasses or the quality of life changes that just kind of reshuffle things that we already have, or recolor grenades, slap a new coat of paint on the UI. I'm not talking about that. You want innovation? Great. I agree. Destiny desperately needs it. We've been doing the same handful of things, fighting the same brain-dead AI for a decade now. So step back, take a deep breath, center yourself, hold it, hold it, hold it. Let it out. And commit. Build systems that last more than one season, or that'll just be replaced in a year or two when you have to figure out a new way to reset players back to zero. Create mechanics that integrate with the full game. Not a gimmick to die the moment the credits roll, or go into the season graveyard. Invest in things that expand the sandbox, not just reroute it for a couple hours. Don't sell me a new way to play when the only thing you're selling is a migraine. There, constructive enough for you? Or do I need to wrap it in an apology for daring and having the audacity? Oh, Bungie, please forgive me for not seeing the greatness of Bungie in your design. Is that what we need? Are we all just children? Is that how criticism becomes constructive? You need to swaddle it in a padded blanket and apologize for having the audacity to say something? Whatever. But hey, those are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments below. Remember to like, but only if you did. Subscribe for more. Feel free to donate to my Patreon if you're feeling particularly generous. And above all else, stay frosty.